Hi, my name is Lee E. Before we start the 20-minute interview practice, I want to clear up 5 common worries beginners might have about this part of the TOEFL test. Number 1, what am I going to say? Do I have to use templates? Well, if you have a problem of coming up what to say, then use templates. Templates are not magic words that give you high scores. They're just little triggers that help you start the next sentence so you don't freeze. And if you already can speak fluently, chances are you have some kind of internal templates that you're using. So as long as you can speak fluently, go ahead and use templates or not use templates. Okay. Number 2, which templates can give me a higher score? No template by itself gives you a higher score if you just memorize it and throw it at every question. What I'm talking about is those very long sentences that are unrelated to the question. Okay, here's a simple template with starter phrases like these. I prefer to eat alone because when I eat alone, I'll feel less tired. For example, I remember in the past when I just got into the company, I kind of forced myself to eat with my coworkers because I thought that was good for teamwork. However, during the lunch hours, my coworkers loved to complain about our customers and our supervisors, and hearing those words just made me feel uncomfortable and tired. So these days, I often eat alone, and when I eat alone, I can focus on my food and I can reflect a little bit about the work that I did earlier during the day. So this makes me feel more calm and more relaxed. If you're taking the new TOEFL 2026 and want extra practice, timing, and scoring guides and updates as we collect more real results, there's a link below this video. Fill out the short form and I'll send them to you. If you practice a template for a few days and it still doesn't help you create those sentences easily, then change it or simplify it. Or maybe you might even need to have a more elaborated template. Again, the goal is not the perfect words. The goal is to have a structure that help you keep speaking. Number 3, will I get caught if I use the template? If you use several long, unrelated, memorized sentences that don't match the question at all, and they're very popular from a very popular teacher, maybe, but short starter phrases like, I believe, in my opinion, this is because, for example, are everywhere in normal English. AI scoring systems cannot reliably flag those things. Plus, if they do, it means that they're punishing normal English, right? You can even invent some long buffer sentences that only you use. Okay. AI very likely won't catch them. And sometimes ETS systems even flag completely original answers by accident. You see these stories on Reddit all the time. And I also have a few students that have this, this kind of a problem. So don't overblame templates. If that happens to you, chances are you're just unlucky. So focus on making your answer actually answer the question and that your answers flow naturally, fluently. Number 4, can I use personal examples even on questions such as, will AI replace humans one day? Of course. Of course. These are interview style questions. So if you answer like that in real life, of course, you can do that in your TOEFL responses as well. Plus, AI cannot check whether it's a true story or whether this is a personal example or not. Again, even when human raters still existed, these are perfectly okay. ETS has publicly stated that these were okay. Again, don't worry about it. Okay, use personal examples, use hypothetical answers. As long as your answers can flow, go ahead and use them. Number 5, should I use 1 reason or 2 reasons or maybe even 3? Use whatever helps your answer flow. 1 clear reason plus 1 clear example is already enough, but if you feel like having 2 makes it easier for you to answer, of course, do that. You can be more illogical than you think. Trust me. All right. With those worries out of the way, let's practice. I'll give you 20 minutes of interview style questions. Aim for 45 seconds nonstop. If you stop, it's okay, but do have your phone next to you so that after you answer those questions, you can listen to them again and catch when or where you make those mistakes and come up with the solution yourself. For example, it could be a buffer phrase or something like that. Okay?
Today, I'd like to ask you some questions about dressing formally and casually. First, what do people in your country usually prefer to wear in their daily lives? Formal clothes or casual clothes? For example, do they typically wear suits and dresses, or jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers? That's interesting. When you go to an important event, do you prefer dressing formally or keeping your style more casual? Why? Interesting. Next, I'd like to get your opinion. In recent years, many workplaces have become more relaxed about dress codes. Do you think formal clothing will become less common in the future? Why or why not? Good points. I just have one more question. Some people believe that dressing formally is essential for building confidence and making a good impression, while others think being comfortable in casual clothes is just as important. Do you think formal dress is really necessary for professional success, or can casual style be equally effective? Today, I'd like to ask you some questions about team sports. First, what kinds of team sports do your friends or people in your country usually enjoy playing or watching? For example, you could mention sports like football, basketball, volleyball, or cricket. Why do you think they prefer those sports? That's interesting. When you play sports, do you prefer team sports or individual sports? Why? Interesting. Next, I'd like to get your opinion. In recent years, more people seem to focus on personal fitness activities like going to the gym. Do you think team sports will become more or less popular in the future? Why or why not? Good points. I just have one more question. Some people believe that playing team sports is essential for developing social skills and teamwork. Do you agree? Or do you think other activities can be just as beneficial? Explain why you think so. I'd like to ask you some questions about environmental protection. First, what do people in your country usually do to protect the environment in their daily lives? For example, do they recycle, reduce plastic use, save electricity, or use public transportation? Why do you think they choose those actions? Thank you. In your daily life, do you prefer to reduce waste by reusing items or by recycling them? Why? That makes sense. Now I have another question. In recent years, environmental awareness has increased. Do you think environmental protection will become even more important in the future? Why or why not? Thanks. Here's my last question. Some people believe that individual actions are essential for protecting the environment, while others think government policies are more important. Do you think personal effort is really effective, or are larger systems more necessary? Explain why you think so. Today, I'd like to ask you some questions about saving and spending money. First, do your family or friends usually prefer saving money or spending it on things they enjoy? For example, do they tend to save for the future, invest, or buy things like clothes, gadgets, or travel experiences? Why do you think that is? I see. When you receive extra money, do you prefer to save it for the future or spend it right away on something you want? Why? Good point. Let me ask you something else. In modern society, many people use credit cards and online shopping more often. Do you think people will become better at saving money in the future or more likely to spend more? Why or why not? That's helpful. Now for my final question. Some people believe that saving money is essential for a secure and happy life, while others think spending on experiences brings more happiness. Do you think saving is more important for long-term well-being, or can spending wisely be just as beneficial? I'd like to ask you some questions about salary and passion in choosing a career. First, when people in your country choose a job, do they usually care more about a high salary or about following their passion? For example, might they choose careers in finance or engineering for higher pay, or in art, teaching, or music because they truly enjoy them? Why do you think that is? Thank you. If you had to choose, would you prefer a high-paying job you don't enjoy, or a lower-paying job that you are passionate about? That makes sense. Now I have another question. In the future, do you think more people will prioritize passion over salary when choosing a career? Why or why not? Thanks. Here is my last question. Some people believe that loving your job is essential for long-term happiness, while others think financial stability is more important for overall well-being. Do you think passion is truly necessary for a fulfilling life, or can a stable income provide the same level of satisfaction?